No one is loyal forever. Not to kings, crowned in gold. Not to gods carved in stone. Not to blood that binds the heart. Loyalty is a cloak woven from promises and worn thin by ambition's cruel thread. It frays under fear's relentless pull, tears at greed's sharp touch, and is cast aside when the winds of power shift. In the world of Westeros, where thrones are forged in dragonfire, and betrayal is the coin of survival, every oath is a lie waiting to be unveiled. Every vow is a chain crafted in hope and shattered by desire. Men kneel with fervent words, women swear with trembling lips, children cling with desperate hands, but all bend to the truth of their own souls. And that truth is this: to live is to betray. Look to Eddard Stark, the honorable lord of Winterfell, whose virtue was his undoing. He carried his integrity like a shield, believing it would guard him in a den of lions. Honor was his creed duty, his altar truth, his sword. He served Robert Baratheon not for power, but for a friendship forged in war. He upheld justice not for glory, but for a world he believed could be just. Yet what did honor earn him? A cell in the Red Keep, a traitor's name whispered by false friends, and the cold kiss of steel across his throat. His loyalty to the realm, his refusal to bend to deceit, his faith in men's goodness. These were not strengths but shackles. Ned believed in a world where words held weight, where righteousness outshone cunning. He was wrong. The North remembers, they say, but memory is a poor salve for a severed head. His children scattered like leaves in a storm. His house broken like brittle ice. His legacy, a warning carved in frost. Honor is a luxury the powerful cannot afford. Yet power is no sanctuary. Cersei Lannister, the lioness of Casterly Rock, wove her world with a love as fierce as it was fatal. She loved her children with a mother's desperation, her brother Jaime with a sinner's passion, her pride with a queen's unyielding defiance. But love unchecked is a poison that seeps into the soul. Her devotion to Joffrey blinded her to his cruelty. Her bond with Jaime twisted her into paranoia. Her pride ignited the great sept in a blaze of wildfire that consumed her allies. Cersei's love was a blade she turned upon herself, each strike carving away her power, her sanity, her throne. She paid her debts, as Lannisters do, but never with honor, only with chaos. Her story is a whisper in the ashes of King's Landing. Love does not conquer, it destroys. Then there is Jon Snow, the bastard who bore a king's burden, forged in the cold of Winterfell, tempered by the oaths of the Night's Watch, broken by a crown he never sought. Jon was a man defined by sacrifice. He gave his love for Ygritte to duty, his loyalty to his brothers, to survival, his hope for peace, to necessity. Each choice cost him a piece of himself, each decision a scar upon his soul, upon his. He knelt to Daenerys Targaryen, not for love, but for the greater good. He slew her not for hate, but for the realm's salvation. The world named him hero, traitor king, corpse. But he was none of these. Jon was a man who carried the weight of others' dreams and paid for them with his own. His exile beyond the wall was no punishment, but a truth, as bitter as the frost. To lead is to lose. Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons, was fire made flesh. She rose from the ashes of her brother's ambition, broke the chains of Slaver's Bay, and dreamed of a world reborn in justice. Her cause was noble, her heart fierce, her will unbreakable. But fire does not choose its victims. It warms it, consumes it, annihilates. Her justice became vengeance, her mercy, a pyre her dream, a slaughter. Meereen, Ostapor, King's Landing, all burned beneath her righteous fury. She freed the oppressed, only to bind them to her vision. liberated the world only to rule its ruins. Daenerys's tragedy was not madness, but clarity. She saw the wheel of power and chose to break it, heedless of the cost. Her death was not betrayal, but inevitability. Fire cannot rule, only destroy. Her ashes whisper a lesson. Ideals are as deadly as swords. The Game of Thrones is not played by heroes or villains, but by pawns who dream of crowns. Peter Baelish the Mockingbird climbed a ladder of chaos, each rung forged from lies and ambition. He saw the world as a brothel, its players bought with whispers and gold. His cunning was his scepter, his betrayal, his throne. Yet even Littlefinger, master of deceit, fell to the chaos he sowed. His love for Catelyn Stark, his hunger for power, his faith in his own wit. These were the threads that unraveled him. Sansa, the child he underestimated, became the blade that cut him down in Winterfell's hall. His death was no tragedy, but a reminder. The cleverest schemers are blind to their own flaws. Varys the spider spun a different web. He served the realm, he claimed not its kings or queens. His loyalty was to the small folk, to a world spared the whims of tyrants. But ideals are as treacherous as men. His machinations toppled dynasties. His whispers shaped wars. Yet the realm bled all the same. Varys believed he could outwit fate, that his sacrifices, his manhood, his honor, his life would birth a better world. He was wrong. His death by dragonfire was not justice, but irony. The man who served the future could not escape the present. His lesson lingers like smoke. No one controls the game, not even those who write its rules. The houses of Westeros are gravestones, each etched with a moral paid in blood. The Starks bound by honor, shattered by trust. The Lannisters gilded by pride, crumbled by greed. The Targaryens born of fire, consumed by their own flames. The Baratheons forged in war, broken by ambition. The Greyjoys, iron-born and unyielding, drowned in their own rebellion. The Tyrells, blooming in deceit, withered by their own schemes. The Martells, fierce with vengeance, poisoned by their own justice. Each house a mirror, each fate a warning. No dynasty endures, no legacy escapes the stranger's grasp. War is the crucible where these truths are forged. The War of the Five Kings was no clash of heroes, but a feast for crows. Robb Stark, the young wolf, waged war for love and vengeance, but love made him reckless, and vengeance made him blind. His red wedding was not betrayal, but consequence. A boy king cannot outrun the debts of war. Renly Baratheon dreamed of a golden age, but dreams are fragile against shadow and steel. Stannis, the rightful king, burned his daughter for a god who never answered. Joffrey the boy, tyrant, choked on his own cruelty. Balon Greyjoy's rebellion sank beneath the waves of his pride. War does not crown the just or the strong. It devours them all, leaving only ash and memory. Beyond the narrow sea, the lessons are no less brutal. The Dothraki follow only strength, their calls rising and falling with the hooves of their horde. Meereen's masters clung to tradition, only to be broken by a dragon's will. The free cities trade in gold, and lies their power as fleeting as their coin. The Iron Bank of Braavos collects its debts, not in gold, but in blood. A reminder that even wealth bows to fate. The faceless men of Braavos offer freedom through death, their god a mirror to the stranger. Essos is a tapestry of ambition, woven with the same threads as Westeros power, betrayal, survival. No land escapes the truths of human nature. No sea washes away its sins. The gods of Westeros are as cruel as its men. The old gods watch from their weirwoods, silent and indifferent. The seven offer justice, but their sepets burn, and their sparrows fall. The Lord of Light demands sacrifice his flames, consuming the faithful and the faithless alike. The drowned god drowns his worshippers in their own ambition. The many-faced god claims all, offering no mercy, no salvation. Religion is no shield, no guide. Only a story men tell themselves to face the dark. Melisandre. The Red Woman saw visions in her flames, but her faith blinded her to truth. Her god did not save Stannis, did not spare Shireen, did not redeem her. The gods are not saviors. They are mirrors, reflecting the flaws of those who kneel. The small folk, the forgotten bear, the weight of these truths. They till the fields fight the wars, and die for lords who never know their names. Their loyalty is not chosen but coerced. Their suffering, not noble but inevitable. The small folk are the realm's blood spilled without thought, mourned without memory. Their rebellions, the faith, militant, the brotherhood, without banners flare like sparks, only to be snuffed out by steel and fire. Their lesson is the cruelest. No one fights for you. No one saves you. No one remembers you. The Game of Thrones is played on their graves, their lives, the coins spent by kings and queens. Vengeance is a lie. Arya Stark carved her path with a blade named Needle. Each kill and name crossed from her list, but vengeance did not bring her peace. Only a hollow heart and a face that was no longer hers. The Freys drowned in their own blood, the Boltons flayed by their own cruelty, yet the North did not heal. Vengeance is a fire that burns the hand that wields it, a cycle that spares no one. The Dornish sought justice for Elia, only to lose their own in the sand. The Lannisters paid their debts, but each payment cost them more. Revenge is not justice. It is a debt that can never be settled. Power. The heart of the game is the greatest illusion. The Iron Throne forged by Dragonfire is no prize but a curse. Aegon the Conqueror built an empire, but his heirs tore it apart. Robert Baratheon won the crown, only to lose himself to wine and regret. Cersei claimed it only to watch it crumble. Daenerys burned for it, only to die beneath its shadow. Power is not held, not kept. It slips through fingers like sand, leaving only blood behind, those who chase it. Tyrion. Sansa Baelish find only pain. The throne's lesson is carved in its blades. To rule is to bleed. Time. The silent player spares no one. The wall built to hold back the dark crumbles under the weight of forgotten oaths. The Red Keep seat of kings stands on a foundation of lies. Winterfell, heart of the North, endures only to mourn. The past is no guide, the future no promise, only the present, sharp and fleeting matters. The three-eyed raven sees all, but his visions change nothing. Bran, Stark, the broken boy, became a king, not through strength but surrender. His reign is no triumph, but a resignation. The world turns. The game continues. The players change, but the truths remain. Legacy is a fleeting dream. The songs sing of heroes, but the heroes are dead. The bards weave tales of glory, but glory is a lie. Jaime. Lannister the Kingslayer sought redemption only to die in the arms of his sin. Theon. Greyjoy. The Turncloak found courage, only to fall. Forgotten. Sansa Stark. The Lady of Winterfell survived, but at the cost of her innocence. Legacy is not what you build, but what others remember. And memory is a fickle thing, twisted by those who wield it. The singers will not sing of truth, but of what sells, what soothes, what serves. But let us linger. For the truths of Westeros are not singular. They are layered like the rings of a weirwood, each circle, a story of loss and revelation. The wall, that towering bulwark of ice, stands as a monument to sacrifice. Its stones were laid by men who swore to protect the realm from the dark beyond. Yet what is the Night's Watch now? But a shadow of its former self. Its oaths are forgotten. its purpose mocked by a world that no longer believes in monsters. The wall did not fall to the White Walkers alone. It crumbled under the weight of human failure. The men who guarded it, men like Jon Snow and Samwell Tarly, were not heroes, but outcasts, bound by duty to a realm that scorned them. Their lesson is stark. Even the noblest cause erodes when men forget why they fight. The Red Wedding, that night of blood and treachery, is a scar upon the realm's soul. Robb Stark, the young wolf, believed he could wage war with honor, that love could coexist with strategy. He was wrong. His marriage to Talisa, a defiance of his oath to the Freys, was not a triumph of the heart, but a spark that lit the pyre. Walder Frey, that wretched lord of the twins, was no mastermind, merely a man who saw opportunity in betrayal. The Boltons, with their flayed banners, sealed the North's fate with steel and ambition. The Red Wedding was not an anomaly, but a truth laid bare. Trust is a blade turned inward, and no king is safe from the debts of war. Sansa Stark, the girl who dreamed of knights and songs, learned this lesson in the hardest of schools. King's Landing stripped her of innocence. The Veil taught her cunning. Winterfell forged her into steel. She was no warrior like Arya, no visionary like Daenerys, no schemer like Cersei, yet she endured. Sansa's strength was not in defiance, but in survival, in bending without breaking. She learned from Littlefinger's deceit, from Cersei's pride, from Ramsay's cruelty, and turned their lessons against them. Her coronation as queen in the North was no fairy tale, but a testament to the cost of wisdom. Sansa's truth is a quiet one: to survive is to learn, is to suffer is to rule. Tyrion Lannister, the imp of Casterly Rock, was a man of wit in a world of swords. His mind was his weapon, his tongue his shield, yet neither could save him from the world's scorn. He loved Shae only to betray her. He served his family only to be cast out. He advised Daenerys only to watch her burn. Tyrion's tragedy was not his stature, but his hope. He believed he could outsmart fate, that reason could triumph over chaos. He was wrong. His hand in Daenerys's death, his role in Bran's rise, his survival as Hand of the King. These were not victories but burdens. Tyrion's lesson is a bitter draught. The cleverest minds bear the heaviest chains. The Ironborn. Those reavers of the sea carry their own truth. The Greyjoys, with their kraken banners and iron hearts, bow to no man, no god but the drowned. Yet their pride is their ruin. Balon Greyjoy's rebellion sank beneath the waves. Theon's betrayal cost him his name. Euron's ambition drowned in madness. Yara, the last of their line, fought for a throne that could never be hers. The Ironborn's lesson is carved in salt and stone. Defiance is not strength, but a chain that binds you to the deep. The Tyrells, those roses of Highgarden, bloomed in deceit and withered in fire. Marjorie, with her smiles and schemes, played the game better than most. Yet, her ambition burned in the great sept Olenna. The Queen of Thorns wielded words like daggers, but her vengeance could not save her house. The Tyrells were masters of the court, yet their elegance was their undoing. Beauty cannot withstand flame. Their lesson is a fragrant poison. Charm is a mask, and masks burn. The Martells of Dorne, fierce and unbowed, sought justice for Elia and her children. Oberyn, the Red Viper, struck with passion and fell to pride. Doran, the patient prince, wove plans that crumbled in the sand. Ilaria and the Sand Snakes burned for vengeance, only to poison their own cause. Dorne's sun scorches all, yet its light reveals a truth. Justice is a flame that consumes its wielder. The Baratheons, forged in war, broke under their own weight. Robert, the usurper, won the throne, but lost his soul to wine and regret. Stannis, the Iron King, clung to duty and burned his heart in the process. Renly, The charming lord dreamed of a golden age, only to fall to a shadow. The Baratheons were kings, yet their crowns were chains. Their lesson is a hammer's blow. Strength is not enough for even the mightiest fall. The small folk, the unseen, are the realm's true victims. They plow the fields, march to war, and die for lords who never spare them a glance. Their loyalty is not a choice, but a yoke. Their suffering, not a sacrifice, but a theft. The small folk are the blood of Westeros, spilled without care, forgotten without song. Their rebellions, the sparrows, the brotherhood, the riots in King's Landing, all are sparks of resistance, extinguished by the weight of power. Their truth is the workers' truth, the citizens' truth, the forgotten's truth. Your life is the coin of the powerful, and no one repays your debt. The gods with their temples and their terrors are a myth of meaning lost. The old gods, silent in their weirwoods, offer no comfort. The seven, with their septs and statues, promise justice, but deliver ash. The Lord of Light burns his faithful. The drowned god drowns his own. The many-faced god claims all without mercy. They offer no answers, no salvation, only reflections of our own desires and flaws. Melisandre's faith was not folly, but fervor, a mirror to every soul that seeks meaning in the dark. The god's truth is a priest's sigh. Belief is a chain, and no prayer changes fate. Vengeance is our trap. Arya's list, the Dornish vendetta, the Lannister debts, all are our own grudges, our own scores to settle. Yet each strike leaves us emptier, each victory hollower. The Freys fall, the Boltons end, the Lannisters ruin. None healed the wounds they avenged. Vengeance's truth is a wound's sting. To hate is to hurt, to kill, is to lose, to win, is to mourn. Power is our illusion. The Iron Throne is every crown, every office, every seat of control. It promises dominion, delivers ruin. Cersei's reign, Daenerys's conquest, Baelish's schemes, all ended in dust. Power's truth is a scepter's weight to seek. It is to chase a shadow, to hold it, is to bleed, to lose it, is to live. Time is our judge. The Wall, the Keep, Winterfell, all are monuments to moments crumbling under eternity's gaze. The Raven's sight, Bran's reign, the Singer's tales, all are fleeting, swallowed by the tide of years. Time's truth is a clock's tick. All things fade, all things fall, all things are forgotten. Legacy is our lie. Jaime's redemption, Theon's courage, Sansa's survival. All are stories, not truths. The songs will twist them, the bards will shape them, the world will forget them. Legacy's truth is a grave silence. What you build dies with you, and only the tale remains. But let us delve deeper. For the truths of Westeros are not confined to its great houses or its bloody wars. They live in the shadows of its lesser players, in the whispers of its forgotten corners, in the silence of its ancient stones. Consider Theon Greyjoy, the turncloak who sought a name and found only shame. He was a boy torn between two worlds, Winterfell's warmth and Pike's salt, yet belonged to neither. His betrayal of Robb Stark was not malice, but desperation, a bid to claim an identity that was never his. His suffering at Ramsay's hands, his redemption in Sansa's escape, his death defending Bran. These were not triumphs, but steps toward a truth. To be true to yourself is to lose everything else. Theon's lesson is a wave's crash. Identity is a chain, and freedom comes only through surrender. Melisandre the Red Woman is another shadow in this tapestry. She saw visions in her flames, believed she served a god of light. Her faith was her strength, her blindness, her ruin. She burned Shireen Baratheon, not for cruelty, but for conviction. She followed Stannis, not for power, but for prophecy. Yet her God was silent. Her visions flawed, her purpose lost. Melisandre's death in the snow was no punishment, but a release. A recognition that faith is a fire that consumes its kindler. Her truth is a priestess's lament. To believe is to burn, and no flame reveals the whole truth. The High Sparrow with his rags and his zeal was a spark in the dark. He rose from the small folk, armed not with steel, but with faith, and brought kings to their knees. His faith, militant, was no army, but a tide washing away the sins of the powerful. Yet his righteousness was his ruin. His refusal to bend his blindness to Cersei's desperation led to the great sept's destruction. The sparrow's truth is a prayer's echo. Zeal is a blade that cuts both ways, and even the pious fall. The Brotherhood, without banners. Those outlaws of the Riverlands carried a different truth, led by Beric Dondarrion, and later the vengeful Lady Stoneheart. They fought for the small folk, for justice, in a world that offered none. Yet their cause became a vendetta, their justice a slaughter. Beric's resurrections, each one a gift from the Lord of Light, were no blessing, but a curse, each life dimmer than the last, dimmer. The Brotherhood's truth is a fire's flicker. To fight for the weak is noble, but nobility drowns in blood. The locations of Westeros, too, are teachers. Winterfell, with its ancient walls and hot springs, is a heart that beats with loss. It stood through centuries, yet its halls echo with the ghosts of Starks betrayed. Ned Robb, Catelyn Rickon. Winterfell's truth is a hearth's warmth. Home is not a refuge, but a memory. And memory cuts deeper than steel. King's Landing, with its red keep and its squalor, is a den of ambition. It is the heart of the game, where every whisper is a blade, every smile a lie. The Iron Throne sits at its center, a monster of swords that devours those who claim it. King's Landing's truth is a crown's weight. Power is a trap, and the city that holds it is a grave. The wall stretching across the north is a line between order and chaos. It was built to hold back the dark, yet its greatest enemy was not the White Walkers, but the men who forgot its purpose. The Night's Watch, with their black cloaks and broken vows, are not guardians, but exiles clinging to a duty the world scorns. The wall's truth is an ice's chill. Sacrifice is forgotten, and even the strongest barriers fall. Braavos across the narrow sea is a city of masks and mirrors, the house of black and white. Home of the faceless men, offers freedom through death, yet its price is everything. Name, face self. Arya's training. There was not liberation but loss, a stripping away of all she was. Braavos's truth is a coin's flip to be. No one is to lose everyone, and freedom is a chain of its own. The small folks' suffering is the thread that binds these places. They are the farmers of the Riverlands, burned by war, the beggars of Flea Bottom crushed by lords, the wildlings beyond the wall scorned by the South. Their lives are the cost of every crown, their deaths the foundation of every throne. The small folks' truth is a field's silence. The game is played with their blood, and no lord repays the debt. The gods, too, are players in this grim dance. The old gods watch their weirwoods bleeding with the weight of memory. The seven judge their septs crumbling under mortal sin. The Lord of Light burns his flames, consuming all who seek him. The drowned god drowns his waves, swallowing the proud. The many-faced god reaps his embrace, cold and final. The gods offer no comfort, no salvation, only reflections of our flaws. Their truth is a temple's ruin. Faith is a chain, and no god answers. Vengeance is a cycle. Arya's list was a litany of hate, each name a wound unhealed. She became no one yet. Her heart remained her own, heavy with loss. The Freys paid in blood, the Boltons in screams. Yet the wounds remained. The Dornish sought retribution for Elia, only to lose their own. The Lannisters settled their debts, but each coin was a piece of their soul. Vengeance's truth is a blade's edge to seek. It is to lose yourself. Power is a mirage. The Iron Throne, the Wall, the Red. Keep, all symbols of control, all fragile as glass. Those who seek power, Cersei Daenerys. Baelish find only ruin. Power's truth is a throne's shadow. To grasp is to lose, to rule is to fall. Time is the final arbiter. The wall crumbles. The keep burns. Winterfell mourns. The Raven sees but cannot save. Bran's reign is no victory, but a surrender to fate. Time's truth is a moment's breath. All things pass, and nothing endures. Legacy is a shadow. Jaime's redemption, Theon's courage, Sansa's survival, all fade in the singer's tales. Memory is not truth, but a story shaped by power. Legacy's truth is a song's end. What you build dies with you, and only the tale remains. Westeros is a mirror, its lessons carved in ice and fire. It offers no hope, no redemption, only the clarity of existence. Men are flawed, weak, fleeting. Power is a shadow, loyalty, a lie, love, a blade, vengeance, a trap. The gods are silent, the small folk forgotten, the heroes doomed. Yet there is nobility in this ruthlessness, beauty in its truth. To live is to play, to know the rules and defy them, to rise, knowing you will fall. The revelation is not victory, but vision. Seeing the game, the lies, the players, and choosing to endure. Yet the game does not end with the fall of kings or the rise of queens. It lives in the whispers of the court, the clash of swords, the flicker of torches in the dark. The truths of Westeros are not confined to its borders. They echo in every heart that beats, every soul that strives. The small folk's suffering is the worker's toil, the lord's ambition, the ruler's greed, the knight's honor, the soldier's duty. The game is not a story, but a mirror held up to the world we know. Consider the wall again, not as ice, but as a line drawn between order and chaos. It stands because men believe in it, falls because they forget. The knights watch with their black cloaks and broken vows, are not merely guardians. They are us clinging to purpose in a world that mocks it. Jon Snow's exile was not a banishment, but a recognition. The line between hero and outcast is thin, and duty is a chain we forge ourselves. The Red Wedding, too, is more than a massacre. It is the moment when trust dies, when promises are revealed as lies. Robb Stark's love for Talisa was not a flaw, but a defiance, a refusal to let war dictate his heart. Yet war does not forgive, and love does not shield. The Freys and Boltons were not villains, but opportunists. Men who saw the game for what it was, a slaughter where only the ruthless survive. The Red Wedding's truth is universal trust is a risk, and every alliance carries a blade. Sansa's journey is no less a mirror. She began as a dreamer, believing in songs of chivalry and love. King's Landing taught her cruelty. The Vale taught her cunning. Winterfell taught her strength. She did not win through force or fire, but through endurance, through learning the game's rules and bending them to her will. Sansa's crown is not a reward, but a burden, a reminder that survival is not triumph, but persistence. Her truth is ours to live, is to adapt to suffer, is to grow to rule, is to carry the weight of those who cannot. Tyrion's wit. His greatest gift was also his curse. He saw the world's flaws, its hypocrisies, its lies, yet believed he could outsmart them. His love for Shay, his loyalty to his family, his faith in Daenerys, all crumbled under the weight of reality. Tyrion's survival, as Hand of the King, was no victory, but a sentence to serve a world that scorns you, to advise a king who sees all to carry the guilt of a queen's death. His truth is a scholar's lament. Knowledge is not power, but a chain that binds the mind. The Ironborn's defiance, the Tyrell's guile, the Martell's vengeance, the Baratheon's strength, all are reflections of our own struggles. The Greyjoy's rebellion is the outcast's cry. The Tyrell's schemes, the politician's dance, the Martell's justice, the victim's wrath, the Baratheon's fall, the warrior's end. Each house, each character, each event is a facet of the human soul, polished by pain and tarnished by ambition. The small folk are the heart of this mirror. They are not heroes, not kings, not gods, just people caught in the game's churn. Their lives are the cost of every crown, their deaths, the foundation of every throne. The Sparrow's rebellion, the Brotherhood's fight, the riots in King's Landing, all are sparks of resistance, extinguished by the weight of power. The small folk's truth is the worker's truth, the citizen's truth, the forgotten's truth. Your life is the coin of the powerful, and no one repays your debt. The gods, too, are ours. The old gods are the past we cling to. The seven, the morals we preach, the Lord of Light, the zeal we burn with the drowned God, the chaos we worship, the many-faced God, the death we fear. They offer no answers, no salvation, only reflections of our own desires and flaws. Melisandre's faith was not folly, but fervor, a mirror to every soul that seeks meaning in the dark. The God's truth is a priest's sigh, belief is a chain, and no prayer changes fate. Vengeance is our trap, Arya's list. The Dornish vendetta, the Lannister debts, all are our own grudges, our own scores to settle. Yet each strike leaves us emptier, each victory hollower. The Freys fall, the Boltons end, the Lannisters ruin. None healed the wounds they avenged. Vengeance's truth is a wound's sting. To hate is to hurt, to kill is to lose, to win is to mourn. Power is our illusion. The Iron Throne is every crown, every office, every seat of control. It promises dominion, delivers ruin. Cersei's reign, Daenerys' conquest, Baelish's schemes, all ended in dust. Power's truth is a scepter's weight to seek. It is to chase a shadow. To hold it is to bleed, to lose it is to live. Time is our judge. The Wall, the Keep, Winterfell, all are monuments to moments crumbling under eternity's gaze. The Raven's sight, Bran's reign, the Singer's tales, all are fleeting, swallowed by the tide of years. Time's truth is a clock's tick. All things fade, all things fall, all things are forgotten. Legacy is our lie. Jaime's redemption, Theon's courage, Sansa's survival. All are stories, not truths. The songs will twist them, the bards will shape them, the world will forget them. Legacy's truth is a grave's silence. What you build dies with you, and only the tale remains. Westeros is our world, its game, our game, its truths, our truths. It offers no hope, no redemption, only the clarity of seeing. Men are weak, flawed, fleeting. Power is a shadow. Loyalty, a lie. Love, a blade. Vengeance, a trap. The gods are silent. The small folk forgotten, the heroes doomed. Yet, There is beauty in this clarity, nobility in its ruthlessness. To live is to play to know the rules and defy them, to rise, knowing you will fall. The revelation is not in winning, but in choosing to see, to fight, to endure. A Lannister always pays their debts, but never with honor. Honor is for the dead, for fools, for those who believe the world cares. The living pay with blood, with cunning, with loss. The Game of Thrones is not won, it is survived. And in its cold, unyielding truth, there is a lesson, sharper than steel. To survive is to betray. To love is to lose. To rule is to ruin. The wheel turns, the debts grow, the players fall. So play if you dare, but know the price. Everything. And yet the game does not end. It lives in the shadows of Winterfell, the ruins of King's Landing, the whispers of Brav.